Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching The Big Bang Theory. This is the 14th episode of the 6th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you like to watch today's full episode, it is available for the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. So last episode was interesting. The guys, they was dressing up, they was getting ready to go to another Comic-Con. Now, obviously, they go to quite a few of them, and the girls was asking, like, why is it their obsession? Like, why do they always go? And basically, they're just saying it's something that entertains them. You know what I mean? They love getting in a fancy dress. You know, Leonard had his big full makeup set out. Penny was like, yo, mate, the makeup in here is way more expensive than the ones I get. He's like, keep your hands off, get away, get away. You know, this is mine. This is for my Comic-Con. And, you know, they dressed up in Star Trek. They was driving to the location. They seen like a scene, like a location basically where some of the scenes were filmed, and they went out to take some pictures. So they was all there, stood there in the costumes doing the poses when somebody actually stole Leonard's car. You know, they had no cell phones, no money, no nothing, and they had to walk quite far to a diner. And when they went in, you know, they was sweating. They was sitting there. They was thinking about, you know, should we still go? Should we go back home? They decided, you know what, we're just going to go back home. We've been through too much. It's a bit of a graft today. We need to go back to the apartment. Now, while all that was happening, you know, the girls, they decided, you know, if the guys are so interested in stuff like this, then maybe we should show an interest as well. So they went to the comic book store, and obviously 3 females going in, everybody staring at them. Stuart's had to go over, tell everybody to, you know, look away. He was speaking to them, giving them advice on comics and stuff like that. The girls ended up getting a few, reading them, trying to figure out what the guys actually enjoyed. At first, they were saying, you know, it's dumb, you know what I mean? There's not really many words on the page. I don't get why they're into this stuff. And then they started debating about whether somebody should be able to pick up Thor's hammer. You know, like, is it a magical hammer that only he can pick up? Or is it only, like, God can pick up? And is it the hammer that selects it? Or is it, you know, the God himself? And, you know, they was all going back and forth, back and forth. They started arguing about different characters, like the Hulk, obviously. Captain America and stuff like that. And as the guys come back to the apartment, they were stood outside, they was listening to it. They was like, mate, we must have walked into another dimension as we was walking towards that diner before they obviously ran in at the end. So I said that it would have been good to see them go in there and actually have a conversation about the girls loving a topic that they're really into. But it was a good episode all around, and I do love the good bonding moments that we have between the girls and the guys, obviously, when they're in their own little separate friendship groups. But that is going to wrap up today's intro. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you do, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into today's episode.
I'll eat later. Right now, I'm suckling at the informative bosom of Mother Physics.
I found this website where you send them pictures, they sculpt your head, and make an action figure out of you. How awesome is that?
You can get a little asthma inhaler.
Years. Be kind of cool to have one to look like us, don't you think?
If that's your idea of what's cool, you should get one.
What do you think, Sheldon? Want an action figure that looks just like you?
Would it come with Kung Fu grip?
No?
Don't waste my time.
Honey, if you want one, just get one.
You're still out, right?
Yep.
A hush falls over the crowd as Cooper studies the board, takes the derivative, and he solves the equation. The crowd goes wild. No bell, no bell.
Cooper?
No bell. KRIPKE. Don't look at my board.
We're working on a grant proposal for a new fusion reactor. I'm working on a grant proposal for a new fusion reactor. The university is only allowed to submit one proposal.
So they asked you to pack up your things and ship out. That's hard cheese, Barry.
No, they're making us work together.
To be fair, right, Barry is actually an alright character, innit? You know what I mean? When he was first introduced, I didn't know what to think about him, but he has been one of the quite decent recurring characters. To be honest, I don't think he's not in it as much as I'd like, because, you know, my stance on recurring characters, the more the merrier, the better, the more fun it is. But he actually is decent. You know, at first, the way he talked, it kind of annoyed me, but I think it's funny, and I actually do think that him, Stuart, when Zach was in it, they was pretty good.
Kind of a strange place to put a picture of you and Bernadette.
Nobody to know. I forgot to turn off the laser.
It's the best $500 I've ever spent.
How can you afford that?
Easy. His family's loaded, and Bernadette has a great job. My wife came with both fun bags and money bags.
That looks nothing like him.
Oh, I'm not dark chocolate. I'm melt-in-your-mouth caramel.
You know, he reminds me of the things from Harry Potter.
Look at my nose.
Yeah, maybe Wesley Snipes and Toucan Sam just got action figures that look like you guys. Look at my face. Do I look smug? I feel smug.
What is that?
That is Sheldon's I'm unhappy and about to destroy the planet music.
You doing okay, sweetie?
The university's forcing me to work with KRIPKE. I'm outraged.
So, Coco?
Yes, Coco. Yeah, I did all this great work, and now he's just gonna come along and ruin it. I am angrier than ever and filled with despair.
What beverage do you make for that?
Hot apple cider with cinnamon sticks?
Yes, I'll have a cider cinnamon sticks.
We were supposed to be in my office a half an hour ago.
And yet now you're in my office. Point Cooper.
We agreed to exchange copies of our work. Let me see yours.
Why don't you show me yours first?
Think I just fell off the turnip truck? We exchanged at the same time. Thank you. So we read each other's work, meet again tomorrow?
Fine.
I bet Sheldon's really impressed with it.
Nice
That's what
try.
I'm
This is
thinking.
blank paper.
And I'm sure it's still more valuable than whatever's in here. Very well.
This one's blank too. I'm gonna be furious.
Fine.
It's only a waste of money if we don't play with them. He's right, dog. The way we can get action figures to look exactly like us.
Oh, yeah, how's that?
2 words, 3D printer.
I have always wanted a 3D printer.
Oh, of course you have. They're an engineer's dream. Anything you can design, a 3D printer can make out of plastic.
Well, the prices have been coming down.
Oh, true. They're practically giving them away.
Make stuff we need for work with it. You know, prototypes of my CAD/CAM design, specialized tools.
Not to mention Malibu Kutropali and his totally bitching dream house. Where's he supposed to park his sweet little Corvette?
At least he's getting his money's worth. Like, I've got to say, I'm not saying that but any of the dolls look like them, but the Howard's doll a little bit looks like Howard. Like, Howard does have a big nose, a bigger than normal nose. He don't have a big nose like that one there, but it does remind me of, what are they called in Harry Potter? The ones that own the bank. Like, I literally, they're goblins. They're not goblins. I'm literally fuming with myself that I can't remember what they're actually called. But that Raj's doesn't look anything like him. Let's be honest, the skin tone is way off. And it surprises me really that Raj, you know, when you talk about his wealth, it seems like he's just got unlimited. Yet he's always, I don't know, like if I had it, I'd just buy everything. You know what I mean? I'd buy a 3D printer. I wouldn't even like, you know, have a conversation. That would be the first thing that I would have done. But have you ever seen somebody use a 3D printer in real life? Like, they're actually mad. You can pretty much make whatever it is that you want to make. You just stick a design in and it'll just go around and it'll create it. It's actually crazy. The inventions that people make, if you look at TikTok and stuff like that, people are so creative at stuff that they can create out of them. I actually do think it's great. And to be honest, I never really wondered how much it would be. And they told us these dolls was 500 each. So maybe they reveal the price in today's episode, how much a printer would actually cost.
The monkey in my tobacco study has taken to smoking a pipe. I'm supposed to remove his brain to examine, but it's hard because now he reminds me of my uncle. You've been awfully quiet tonight. Is everything okay? Did you exchange your research with KRIPKE?
Yes, leaps and bounds ahead of mine. Which means the mommy of the smartest physicist at the university is not my mommy as I had thought.
May I offer you a consoling hug?
What do we have to lose?
That's a step forward for him, though.
Why'd you stop? I can't go in today, I'm sick.
128. What did you do? Put this in your tea?
Oh dear. Now I'm not even smarter than you.
You just got stuck on a wrong path. Happened to Einstein. He got stuck on the unified field theory for decades. Sheldon Lee Cooper, I do not have time for this nonsense. Now go put your clothes on, get in the car, and let's go to work.
All right, jeez.
How did I do that? I gotta remember how I did that.
You know what he just said there, actually, about, you know, Einstein's research? Everything was kind of amazing because nobody knew anything back then. So, like, anything that was discovered, it was like, wow. And, you know, that is actually true, isn't it? You know, somebody who's trying to find something now, after it's been around for thousands of years, is always going to struggle. But the person who first found it, you know, they're going to get all the plaudits. It's like in football terms, soccer, whatever. Like, everyone goes on that Pele was the greatest player of all time. But, like, if you look at the quality of the people that played football back in the day, you know, it seemed like people couldn't even run or kick the ball properly. And he was just literally just walking past everyone and scoring. And look at the quality in today with Ronaldo and Messi. You know what I mean? Like, and the quality of them. Like, the more people focusing on something, so the sport or the field, the better everybody gets and the standard goes up. So what Pele was the world's greatest ever player back in the day was probably just a standard striker in today's market, you know what I mean? And to achieve his greatness is going to be really, really hard considering the levels and the knowledge and, you know, the experience, like they say in their field, that everybody has. To achieve something that was once nothing, what the first person done, it's going to be way harder. So I actually think that was quite clever what he's just said.
Do you realize by owning a 3D printer, we are reclaiming the manufacturing process and taking jobs back from sweatshops in China?
I think it's done. We printed a whistle.
You realize these things go for 25 cents a pop at a party store.
And we made it in only 3 hours. Sounds just like store-bought.
Stop holding your stomach in. I'll give you a 6-pack with the computer.
Oh, okay, great. Now I can look like Val Kilmer as Batman instead of Val Kilmer as he looks today.
Cooper, we have a problem. Your work is really not at a level I expected it to be. We both know what your problem is. My work would suffer too if I was getting weighed all the time.
That is the reason. You know, my work is suffering because of all the lead I'm getting.
You lucky bastard.
What can I say? You know, she enjoys my genitals.
Look at the respect he's giving him.
Say hello to my little friend.
Hey, that one's actually pretty decent.
So cute! I didn't think there could be a smaller version of you.
Here comes the bride.
Yeah, that's really good.
Howie, I love these.
I thought you might.
Were they expensive?
It didn't cost a thing. I made them myself.
How?
Cuther pop.
$5,000 for a couple of dolls? Are you out of your mind? At any point did it dawn on you to talk to me about spending this kind of money?
Kinda dawning on me now. We make plenty of money.
I make plenty of money. You make peanuts.
That means when you get sick, I take care of you. And when you make a bunch of money, I get to buy stuff. Sorry if you don't like it, but that's how love works.
I'm gonna return the machine, or you could print out a working set of lady parts and sleep with those.
I won't put it past him, he's thinking about it.
You're actually thinking about
Yeah. Yeah, actually would be thinking about it. To be honest, right, $5 for a machine like that, I don't think it's that bad. You know, I didn't know how much it would be, but looking at the quality of that doll, and, you know, places like Etsy, for example, eBay, whatever's, like, I think that you could recoup that money pretty well. You know, how much could you sell a custom doll that looked like yourself for? I reckon $30, $40 per doll. Now, I know that you'd have to sell 1,000 maybe to even, well, to get 4K. But I actually feel like it's achievable. And also selling other things as well. I don't know how long it takes to create, but I think that a one-time investment of 5K and the potential of the quality that can actually do, I feel like you can make a really niche business selling designable goods or something like that, personalized to people, sending videos and pictures, and you can create dolls and other things like that. I actually think it's a great idea, considering, yeah, they just bought a doll for 500 that was supposed to look like them, and it looked nothing like them. If they started selling them at 500 a pop, then they'd be done in no time. They'd literally only need 10 customers and bang, money's back. So I actually wouldn't take it back. I feel like the potential and the quality of that's got, I think it's a good investment.
All right, I don't understand. Why didn't you just tell KRIPKE the truth?
Because the truth made me look bad. He asks, tell him my coitus with Amy is frequent, intense, and whimsically inventive.
My coitus whimsically inventive.
That is what I write on the bathroom walls. For a whimsically inventive time, call Leonard Hofstadter. Sheldon, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
You ever gonna sleep with Amy?
Word around the university is I'm giving her sex organs a proper jostling.
She would clearly like to have a physical relationship with you. So what are you doing?
All right, we're down the rabbit hole. What are you doing?
All my life, I have been uncomfortable with the sort of physical contact that comes easily to others. I'm working on it.
Hang on, are you saying someday you and Amy might actually get physical?
It's a possibility.
Sheldon, I know this wasn't easy for you, and I'm really glad we could have this conversation.
I'm there.
Sure you want to do this? Give up your half of the 3D printer?
Yes. And can you please make that out to Bernadette?
Aren't you gonna eat lunch?
Nah, I blew my food allowance on Pokemon cards.
You get any last night?
Yes.
Give it to her good, huh? Is she naked or was she wearing lingerie?
Just a horny guy, man.
I didn't notice. I was too busy squishing all the desirable parts of her body.
You guys ever use any toys?
I do have a model rocket next to my bed.
A rocket? You're a freak! I love it!
Do you know, see what I mean? Like, just the introduction of KRIPKE in today's episode. He wasn't in it much, you know what I mean? But short and sweet, that's all you need. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you have you go to a restaurant and you have your meals and you get your dessert. You don't want a big massive mountain of it. You want the perfect amount there just to taste it, just so that it just hits that spot. That's kind of what KRIPKE does. He comes in, he either causes a scene or has an argument, like an episode with Sheldon when they back and forth. Or in today's episode, to be honest, Sheldon... I think his character's progressing a lot, and in terms of, like, we'll talk about later in the relationship status, but like today, in acknowledgement that somebody else is better than him. You know what I mean? Like, you don't usually see that. I understand that he was reluctant to give away his half, and he gave him 2 blank pieces of documents first, but like he read it and he didn't actually say I was better. He actually sat and reflected and was like, KRIPKE is, and he actually admitted it out loud as well that he wasn't the number one to Amy. Now, I know that obviously he kind of got away with it because KRIPKE's just like a horny guy, to be honest. Everything, you think about it, every time he's in it, he's always talking about women. Do you remember when Zach was there and he was talking about the hot tub thing? And yeah, Sheldon wanted to carry on and he's like, yeah, just back to the hot tub, back to the hot tub. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's always on about the women. But today, they've obviously worked together. And, you know, since when did Sheldon ever work as a duo? You know what I mean? Like, do you remember the episode when him and Leonard was apparently being nominated for an award and he didn't want to go because he thought it was below him and he wasn't really happy that, you know, them two was getting it? That episode where that girl come in and she was kind of like working with him, or like she was kind of aiding him while he completed his research, and then she was like, can we call it the Cooper blah blah? And he was like, no. Like today, if you look, it's called the Cooper and KRIPKE. We never would have seen that in the past. So I think his character's coming leaps and bounds, to be honest. I really do feel like he's progressing very well. It's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So how many of you guys have obviously watched it like me and been thinking that Sheldon, in terms of like intimacy, has been progressing like a pretty good steady pace, to be honest? You know, at first when he was together, he was kind of distant. He didn't really want to kind of engage. He was enjoying like situations when there was just... like non-engaging at all. You know what I mean? I remember one of the episodes that Amy said that he was in his apartment for like 4 hours, didn't really speak a word, and you know, he said it was one of the best dates that they've ever had. Do you know what I mean? But like, as we've been progressing forward, you know, he's been comforting her a little bit more. He's held her hands a couple of times. He's engaged in hugs, and you know, now they've become girlfriend and boyfriend. You know what I mean? They've started to be a little more intimate. Now, Amy's obviously way more advanced, or like fall forward than he is, but I noticed it very much in Sheldon, to be honest, that he is actually becoming more of a boyfriend instead of being like an acquaintance. You know what I mean? Like, I really do feel like at first he was kind of together on an intellectual level, where like he found somebody on his same wavelength as a female counterpart. Do you know what I mean? And that was how he enjoyed being together. But then, as obviously the seasons have been progressing, and they've slowly been doing it as well, like, because it's not been fast, you know, he has actually been improving as a boyfriend. You know, do you remember that episode when it was Bernadette and Penny, and they were shopping for bridesmaid dresses, and he didn't, well, basically, they texted Howard if they liked one of the dresses, and Amy was there, and she was upset, and obviously she went and cried, and she confided in him, and then he come back to the university, and he was like, you need to keep your women in line. Do you know what I mean? And Penny, Leonard was like, mate, Penny's not even my girlfriend, and he's like, mate, ever since that you seen her and introduced her, we had been putting up with her, anything that she does, it's all your fault. Do you know what I mean? And he actually stood up for Amy, and that was like one instance where, you know, he was really standing out being a boyfriend. Other times as well, do you remember when he hit Leonard on the shoulder? He's like, that's my Amy. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's even gone to Will Wheaton's house and defended her and said that it wasn't nice the way he was disrespecting her, even though that episode, you know what I mean? She was the one that kind of like caused it, but it was good that he stuck up for her in the end. I just feel like he's engaging and getting closer. And again, yeah, like I said, go to her apartment, combing her hair, rubbing, you know, Vaseline on her chest, you know, giving her a bath. They've been giving hugs here and there. He even wanted one today. When she let go, he wanted another one. So, mate, the possibility of them to actually engaging in a sexual relationship, to me, has been progressing. And that was a massive leap to acknowledge that in today's episode. And that's why Amy was like, oh my God. I mean, Penny was like, oh my God. Now, I would actually go and tell Penny, Amy, false penny. I think it'd be really interesting to see her reaction to it. She might keep it to herself. Maybe she keeps it to herself, and then later down the line she gets a bit drunk and she just spits it out and shocks Amy, and she's like, what? Sheldon said this? You know what I mean? And that would be really good as well, actually. A surprise let out. So I can't wait for it. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.